Life is Strange made its debut at Gamescom. It's a mystery game with a difference in episodic format by Dontnod, the creators of Remember Me. And apologies for some of the sound issues during the interview.
So, hello, my name is Michel Cor, and I'm a co-game director on Life is Strange as well as its art director.
My name is Jean-Maxime Morris. I'm the creative director at Dontnod Entertainment and co-founded the studio.
So you guys had a game out recently, Remember Me. It didn't do as well as you guys hoping, which is a shame because it was an amazing game. Did you guys feel a little bit disheartened by the whole thing?
There is, of course, a moment where, you know, you're like, well, you've put everything that you had in your guts, in your brain, in your heart for the past 5 years into something, and it comes out and it doesn't do as well as you expect. It gets totally, you know, buried under the hype of other games at that time, and you know, it was not a perfect game by any means, but it was our first game, and we're really proud of it. And you know, today there are still articles being written about it, and it's got quite a following, and we are hearing good things about it. You know, even announcing this new one. So it was painful at first, but you know, we're just really proud of it in the end.
So, would you like to tell us about Life is Strange?
So, very quickly, Life is Strange is a brand new, modern, episodic adventure game that is being developed by Dontnod Entertainment and published by Square Enix. It tells the story of Max Caulfield, a talented high school senior who comes back to her hometown of Arcata Bay, Oregon to study photography. She is very soon reunited with her former best friend Chloe, and together they're going to investigate on the mysterious disappearance of one of their fellow classmates. And there's a twist, you know, it's a modern adventure game that really emphasizes story and character development, but there's a twist. Max has the power to rewind time at any moment and change the course of destiny. So every one of your actions, of your decisions, is going to have a consequence further down the line, and all those consequences are going to resonate through Max's world.
So you say that she can turn back time. Can she turn back a lot of time? Are there only certain parts she can turn back? How does that work?
Do you want to?
No, there is a limit. Max can only rewind a few seconds, a few moments, and then this limit will play out a narrative part in the game. There will be consequences to the fact that she cannot rewind up to anywhere in the past in her life, and it will play out a big part in future episodes.
So, you know, this is something we can't tell much more about, but if you've seen a movie like The Butterfly Effect, there are some similarities in what we're doing.
What did you guys use for inspiration other than The Butterfly Effect for this?
I guess most of our inspirations came from indie American movies, like from the movies from the Sundance Film Festival, and we really wanted to get this indie tone to the game from movies like maybe The Virgin Suicides or Take Shelter or Bellflower, or this kind of independent vibe from the movie scene.
And then obviously in games, you know, we're big fans of indie games. We're fans of what Telltale does. We're fans of Gone Home. You know, none of these. You know, we actually started development on this way before Gone Home got out. So, but when it got out, we were like, oh my God, this is exactly, our thing too. So they're similar in some ways, very different in many ways. But those are all definitely references for us. As in, you know, we really respect the work of those guys.
Let's talk about the art style.
Yes, for the art style, the idea was really to have a hand-painting feeling for the game, because we really wanted the player to put some of his own imagination, own soul to the visuals. We didn't want it to be over-realistic when everything is detailed, so there is this nostalgic feeling, and you can just fill in the gaps with your own experience with those visuals.
Was that complicated to do in terms of development?
You mean for the art style?
Yeah.
Not really. It takes a bit of long time to paint everything, but when we found our styles, we really know it's a matter to every artist are painting their textures, and we're painting the files and the document you're seeing in the game, and it takes a bit of longer time, but it's really fun to do and exciting to work on.
Have you got any plans to release an art book? Because for Remember Me, you've had a lot of amazing art.
That's something that's still to be discussed with Square Enix, but we'd love to. Yeah.
In the game, the footage we've seen today, there's obviously quite a lot of butterfly references, including loading elements. Is that just a nod to the butterfly effect, or is that a lot more?
That's really the butterfly effect is important in the game. Really, with the game with dealing with choice and consequences, and the rewind ability. We really want to. We have those butterfly effects moments in the game where every consequence will have some repercussions, and we'll go on to have higher repercussions near the game evolves.
There's also a lot of music in the game. Do you want to talk about the music and why and style?
Sure. I mean, there's a very distinct soundtrack in the game, and it's mostly our influences are mostly modern indie folk, and you know it's all part of this mood that we're trying to create with the art style, with the location, the story that the game revolves around, and it's this nostalgic Pacific Northwest autumnal mood, and you know it's just one part of that that really distinct atmosphere that we want to create.
And you're planning on releasing how many parts and over what period?
So 5 episodes is what we're going for. There's no distinct decided release date for the first episode, but what we can tell you is we're going to really have a steady time window in between episodes. That's really what we want to do, so that players always know when to expect the next episodes. And right now it's going to be probably a few weeks, just a little bit over a month in between each episode.
One final question then. Obviously this game has short, medium and long-term consequences depending on the choices. Will there be only one final outcome to the game, or are you planning on multiple paths to make it replayable?
It's definitely replayable, both short term when you want to try everything to see how it pans out in one single scene, and also long term because you're going to get a really different perspective on the main storyline depending on how you have interacted with all the characters. So there won't be many different endings, but definitely a couple of them, and but mostly we really want to make it clear, if you've played games like The Walking Dead or Wolf Among Us, this is similar to what those guys are doing. So the scenarios are going to branch in 100 directions. There's this main storyline that you're following that does branch in some occasions, but really what you're getting is a different perspective on what goes on, and really different relationships with people.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching. Why not subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the link on the screen now. And if you want to watch some gameplay, click on the screen too.